Park concert. I've got my fucking amp, Ashley's amp with a British flag on it. This just a sec. So yeah, we're live from Central Park here, everybody. Legendary venue. I think the fucking fireworks are gonna be happening. This thing is all the way up. If you can believe it. It's so loud in the apartment. When you get out here, you can't even hear the fucking. We got lightning bugs. I thought I heard lightning bugs went extinct. But I don't normally play outside. I'm trying to get like into some kind of busking headspace or something. So I thought I'd just come out and play, go live. I bought this fucking thing, runs on 6 AA batteries. So we'll see how long it lasts, I guess. What the hell to play? I don't know. I want to play some American classics for everybody on this, what is it, the 249th. I mean, are people celebrating this year? Probably not. I mean, they just killed America with this big, beautiful bill, so. We're just out here, okay, so this light is on above me. I think that's going to keep us sort of bright. I just feel like all the music I know and like is hopelessly out of date. It's all dad rock. Even playing a Fender Stratocaster electric guitar, I just feel like there's no way to make this badass. Dad rock. I remember when I heard the term dad rock. I mean, I feel like it ruined my life. Why do we need to differentiate ourselves so much? Why is that such an important thing? Like, oh, that's old people music. Oh, it's for old people. We don't like that. We want our own shit. It's part of being American. It's just corny. It's all fucking corny. I just want to finish this, and then I'm going to rock and roll for everybody, okay? This is the pre-show. The Beach Boys did those huge 4th of July concerts from D.C. with like a huge lawn. So this is my big live from Central Park, everybody. Maybe I'll write some new songs. I need to write some new music. I feel like I need to. It's been like a long time since I've written a song, finished a song. I should think more about improvisation and just the endless song, the never-ending song of jamming. I'm a jam band comedian. I'm a jam band poet. I'm a jam band. I'd like to do a rock and roll band that has like noise music elements. Because when I played rock and roll, I didn't do. We were afraid to play a fucking guitar solo. You're like, oh my god. I don't know my scales. I haven't been practicing my scales. Apparently, if you play E pentatonic in A, it sounds great. So I was playing all these Rolling Stones songs. I was just trying to see how many I knew. 251. 251. 251. Second always sounds better than 4. This is musician humor, okay? This is me regretting the last year. We stole the best years of our lives, okay? With Trump bullshit and the big spectacle, the ego fucking hunger fest of the big beautiful bullshit, the big beautiful burner in the ass here on the death of America Day. They killed it all, took it away. Hey, after the fall, I was reading Thomas Gibbon in high school. It said it all. Our future was predicted in the past. It's like an inverse mirror. Who's that guy, Jesse Wilson or whatever? He's the modern day villain for the TikTok generation who's not watching. I mean, I hope you're out on Independence Day, being independent, not letting the big media tell you what to do, and not buying the mainstream media's lies and all of the talking points on blue dogs. Is he still alive? I think he died. Good riddance to blue dogs who rot in hell. You smuggled bastard. Contributed to the downfall of our democracy, which, as far as I can see, has become oligarchic technocracy. And we're living in a Radiohead album that we purchased in the 1990s. Live from Central Park, after dark, here like Hugh Hefner in the Blickwood Mansion, selling you pictures of women to pay for his empire, baby oil. Sean Puffy Combs, who's a free man, bad boy for life. As the sun goes down over the east side, we're getting ready to fire off the fireworks tonight over the East River and the Brooklyn Bridge. But I don't want to go that far because the guitar case weighs 90 fucking pounds. I'm saving my energy. I actually just went on vacation, so now I'm set free for a few days. Set free for a few days. What am I gonna do? She's on the train. She's writing poetry in the dining car. She's writing poetry in the dining car. She's talking to her friend from the dining car. The dining car. She's writing poetry in the dining car. write songs at all? Why not just make it up on the spot until the music? Let the music be your guide. Let the atmosphere decide. Let the world just write themselves. Write themselves. 7 minutes long is a perfect length for a song. You don't need to edit it, you don't need to edit it, you need to write a handwritten essay in the blue book of what's your thoughts in your own words. You don't contact ChatGPT that shit. You don't need AI here in 2025. The sound of the soul and Thank you so much. Wow, awesome. Hey, you too. Thank you. So I should open this thing because no one's ever wanted to give me money before. I never do this. I never come out and play, so I have no kind of like experience. I have no equipment. I don't know how long these batteries will last. So I just bought these fucking batteries. It's $2 for 4 batteries. So, $6, and you can go play outside. I'd like to have a rechargeable amp. Now everything is like this rechargeable fucking. We're live. Maybe we should play some Beach Boys shit. I don't know. I mean, this is not really. I'm kind of exploring instrumental. Well, because I've got no amplification for my voice, so it's like, we're missing all the fireworks here. I don't think these are like real fireworks. I think these are just like some people on the east side are launching these. I don't think that's like any kind of like official fireworks, but I mean, it's kind of cool. I mean, look at that. Not bad. We got some fireworks in the background. That's fucking production value right there, everybody. I didn't realize that it's actually interesting musically to have unusual chords. I thought everything was meant to be just like a major or a minor chord, like a big. They call them cowboy chords. I thought that was like the mark of good songwriting. It's like you write an acoustic guitar with like the regular chords, E, A, D, like all the Rolling Stones songs. It's like they're G, C, D, E, A. There's not a whole lot, at least the early stuff. And it's just all at the end of the neck. You can just play it with open chords. I thought that was like what good songwriting was. I didn't realize that like, actually, jazz songwriting and all this shit is like these E7 plus 9, whatever the hell, over B flat or whatever it is. G over C. Whenever I'd see that at like a guitar tablature, I'd just be like, fuck that. You just play a C. Whatever G over C means. I don't even know what that means. If everybody had an ocean across the USA, then everybody be surfing like California. They'd all be wearing a baggy or out these sandals too. Surfing USA. Well, I'll be playing out a room we'd like to take real soon. God blesses and so we can't wait for June. All over St. Louis, we're down to New Orleans. Tell the truth, surfing USA. I don't know. I guess this is like the ghetto fireworks show here. Thank you. I've had some people tune in. I got 2 likes somehow. And I made $1. I wasn't even trying to make money. This lady came up, gave me $1. So I want to like play a guitar interpretation of like what America means right now. Is interpreted through the electric guitar, like guitar solos and songs and classics, covers. That's why Jonathan Richman is such an important song for this time of year. I'm constantly going back to parties in the USA, the Jonathan Richman song. And And there are parties. People are having parties. In spite of it all. The influencers are having parties out in Bushwick basements. And the influencers are having parties on the Upper East Side. Right across my feeling out of control. And there's no parties in the USA. We got no parties in the USA. We got no parties in the USA. 'Cause the big beautiful bill passed and now we're all fucked, yeah. And Rick Derringer died. Rick Derringer died. Rick Derringer died. And everybody's dying. And Brian Wilson died. And Sly Stone died. And my friend died. We're gonna survive. Well, nowadays at parties, you get loud stereo equipment. And nowadays at parties, the noise is like a radioactive shipment. I said nowadays at parties, it's like a nuclear war zone. And nowadays at parties, everybody's on their goddamn phone. I said, hey, oh, Rick Derringer, hang on. Backyard barbecue. Guys in golf carts just drove by. I thought they were gonna bust me. We're having a good time in Trump's America. Was that the new ICE private army come to arrest anybody who says bad shit on the internet about the president? And anybody who's ever made fun of Donald Trump will go to alligator jail. play, go somewhere else. I don't know how much longer this is gonna last. I mean, I'm not even on 20%, but I'm vibing. There's not really an audience anywhere. I don't know. I was trying to pick a location that maybe people would walk by, but maybe not stay. But I also, like, I don't know. I wanted to pick a good place where I could actually see some kind of fireworks. We saw little fireworks. Pattern or something. Like I said, I don't know how much longer this will last. It seemed like there was going to be more people out here chilling for a second, but it's like it got dark and everybody left. I thought there was going to be more fireworks here, possibly. But I think they're being fired down that way, south. So, what it is. I don't really want to go to some kind of big 4th of July thing because, well, for obvious reasons. I guess there's people on that field. I don't know. I was just kind of playing for the fireworks, but now it's like there's less people, so I'm like, it's dark. Maybe this is not the best place to be parked. I don't know. Maybe if we shit real fast. I'm not necessarily busking per se, but if people want to give me money, I would accept that. I mean, I'm just kind of feeling it out. I've never really played in Central Park. Actually, it's got this tiny little amp. It's got pretty good tone. And this Strat is like super easy to play. Super fun to play. Rhythm or lead. High on the neck, low on the neck, whatever you want. About half the strings are new. I don't really change all the strings at once. I like to have a little funk in the string a little bit sometimes. I don't know. It's nice to have new strings, but I don't know. I just don't. I don't like going going through and changing my strings like that. I don't know. What should I do? Should I play? Should I play? I guess there's people out there. Now that I stopped playing, I can hear people out there talking and shit. So, to some degree, I feel like I'm playing for those people. So, yeah, we'll just until the fucking fireworks stop. You know, we'll stay here. There's people still out there, you know. Stuff away. I guess it won't take long. I mean, I haven't got my 20% battery thing yet, so I think I've got a little while. I probably have at least 15 minutes, maybe 20 minutes. Hold on, little stream. Hold on, little stream. Okay, what are we gonna do? Oh God, should I stay? Should I go somewhere else? Now people are walking through. It's like forever there was nobody going through. Yeah, see, now there's more fireworks again. 1% battery left. So I might cut off the live stream and try another location. Happy 4th of July, question mark, everybody. Maybe let me leave you with this. Let me do a little Numerical America, and then I'll cut off because that's the most American song I have. not sorry, cause it's music, you do whatever you want. And now's the guitar. Happy 4th of July, everybody. Happy 4th of July. Hopefully you could hear the lyrics. The lyrics are important. I really wasn't singing at all until the end. I saved that for the big grand finale, everybody. Like the fireworks. Baby, you're fireworks. Oh, now there's 3 people watching. Well, thanks for watching. Happy 4th of July, everybody. It's my live from Central Park concert. Live, like fucking Simon and Garfunkel. And Elton John and Diana Ross and all the legends. So, I don't know. Thanks for watching. Have a happy holiday, everybody. Have a happy holiday. Signing off from New York. From New York. Have a happy holiday, everybody. Good night. Happy 4th, everybody. May be the last. It's probably going to be the last. So, let's enjoy it.